in future can just be able to go through their assignments, research projects, even staff having checked and plagiarism requirements before submission. This is very important. We are constructing a computer laboratory for 200 computers, and we hope this will also strengthen our e-learning project. Our library services are doing very well in terms of the software and books and other materials. Maybe I can point out that because of our repository, actually we were rated the best. Kabale University was rated on top in accessing e-resources, which is measured by the consortium of Uganda University Libraries in Uganda, of which we are a member. Quality assurance is a cross-cutting concern, and because of this, Mr. Chancellor, we are strengthening our quality assurance unit. We have we're in the process of getting a director. We already have a senior quality assurance officer, and this area is growing. I'd like to point out, for your interest, guests and Mr. Chancellor, that the East African Community Medical and Dental Practitioners Council, when they came to inspect our medical school, we got approval with this phrase: we meet the minimum requirements for training medical doctors registrable within the East African community, which is a very big achievement for us. In terms of human resource, I would like to say we have risen to 360 members of staff. At all levels, we emphasize our staff development program. We have, as a university, put 322 million Uganda shillings to help staff acquire further studies in this past year. And we have supported 54 members of staff. Many are on PhDs, but a few others are on their masters, because we have a community of young people at assistant lecturer level or teaching assistant levels. I'd like to just point out a few members of staff who have recently acquired their PhDs. Dr. Daniel Windsor graduated from the University of Nairobi, specializing in medicinal and photochemistry. Dr. Bomugisha Isaac graduated from Barara University of Science and Technology, specializing in astrophysics. Dr. Christine Ampumuza has just been awarded her PhD in tourism and conservation from Wageningen University in the Netherlands. We are expecting more PhDs in the near future, as we have people we have sponsored in the universities in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Africa, and within Uganda. Many of our teaching assistant level have attained masters, but I will not be able to read those right now because of time. We congratulate them all. On research, I would like to say that although we still have a small fund as internal fund for research, we have increased our research funding from 29 million in 2017-18 to now 150 million. That is open to staff for doing their research. And external grants are beginning to pick up. And so what the different programs or research projects that members are submitting. So we hope that our university will increase improve in ranking, because this is an area where we have been not operating so well. But we hope this will be addressed. We have strategies in place to address this. In this connection, I would like to report that Kabale University recently won, through competition, an award for the creation of a Center of Competence in Digital Education. It's called, it's abbreviated C-code. The funding body, IPER, under the Excellence in Africa Program initiative, is based in Morocco. They will build infrastructure to enable hands-on training in digital education. Kabale University is the only university in Uganda among the 6 universities that were selected in Africa. This was through competition. The project will take off in July 2021, and we have already signed an agreement with the funders. This project will train our technical staff, who will also train the staff in digital education. I congratulate the group which wrote this proposal, led by Professor Basheka, who is our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Dr. Felix Businge, who is the Dean of our Computer Science, and Mr. John Malanjira and Robert Tumsimio are in charge of our e-learning program. They are going to be in charge of this project. We congratulate them and thank them. Finances, we still are underfunded, although we have managed to raise from the 11 billion that the central government of Uganda was giving us in 2016 when we became public, to 41 billion as of now. We hope that things will continue improving, but we are also looking for alternative ways of raising resources beyond the government of Uganda. Infrastructure, as one would say, is our weakest link in Kabale University, because we inherited a residential campus of the former Kigezi native local government. So we have had a difficult time of adjusting and improving these buildings to be to the level of university education and facilities. So here we list the few we have remodeled, we have improved or renovated. But the fact is that because of the prevailing circumstances, we just have to remodel, rehabilitate, or renovate. But we actually need new structures, and we shall continue to strive for that. In terms of governance, I think we are doing very well. Our organs are moving on well. They are enacting policies. And I can just mention a few recent policies for your information: e-learning policy, ICT services policy, gender policy, and sexual harassment policy. And we have reviewed our academic policy and examination regulations to fill in the gaps. There are many others in the pipeline. Collaboration with partners, we are improving by each day. This year we had the rare occasion of hosting 2 ambassadors here, one after the other. The French ambassador, South Korean ambassador, and as a result of these visits, the French government has extended help to Kabale University. They are helping to train our staff, unfortunately, one of whom passed away, and they have given us equipment. So far, 88 million Uganda shillings, and we are expecting 35,000 euros. We are in touch with the government of Nigeria through the High Commissioner. They give us volunteers regularly. And of late, we have also developed a relationship with Zumbe University in Tanzania. And we've signed a memorandum of understanding, the University of Johannesburg in South Africa, and we hope to strengthen those relationships and collaboration. The challenges have not changed, Mr. Chancellor, from last year. The land up here is still eluding us. We hope that we can come to the end of this particular problem. Infrastructure development, I've already talked about it, and this is evident, so I will not go in the details here. We still need recruit staffing because although we have said we have improved, we still need more people, especially senior level staff, academic staff from senior lecturer and above. And of course the research publication. So without money, quality assurance becomes a bit compromised. A brief about obituary. The university lost 2 people over the last year. In particular, we were saddened by the deaths of our 2 members of staff who succumbed to COVID-19, namely Mr. David Biganja, who was our university bursar, and Marie Gorette Adubobare, who was pursuing her PhD in French studies and was very keen in the establishment of our French department. Our members of staff and members of governing bodies have lost people, either parents, siblings, or spouses. I have here a list of 20 people. I will not be able to read it, but our condolences go to these people, and may the souls of the deceased rest in eternal peace. We have a list of appreciation: the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Finance, Planning, Public Service, ICT, and the government of Uganda in general. We collaborate very well with the government agencies, National Council for Education for guidance, the Students Financing Board, the Communications Commission, which is going to give us computers for which we are preparing the laboratory. There are professional bodies in the health field and accountancy. The Bank of Uganda, which gives us money to run the economics chair, and the Uganda Industrial Research Institute. I'd like to, as usual, thank the founders and promoters of Kabale University, because without that idea, maybe we wouldn't be at this stage where we are. We'd like to thank the staff and students for their hard work and cooperation. We want to thank the organizing committee of this function, led by the academic registrar, Mr. Narist Benderana. We'd like to particularly thank the academic registrar's department, because this year they have been overworked than any other department because of COVID. Each time we have to bring in new students, they are staggering students, they are training students. They have had more work than other units, more than they usually have. Thank you. I would like to thank finally members of the management of the university, and ensure the Chancellor that we have a good team that is working to promote the university. And the members of management, you can stand up for recognition. If you, wherever you are, I hope you'll be able to. Okay. The university librarian, who is there? The bursar, Perpetua is our acting bursar. The Dean of Students, Amos. The Deputy Vice Chancellor of Finance Administration, Anne Katabazi. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Professor Benon Basheka, and the Academic Registrar, Mr. Naris Tibenderana. The University Secretary, Canon Badiantuma, is unable to be present right now because of some other duties. Mr. Chancellor said the future direction is to consolidate the university, which now we have built the foundation, and it is premised on quality service, quality assurance. I will not go in the details, but that is part of our strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan. About the current graduation, there are 57 degrees at master's level. The Master of Medicine are graduating for the first time. We also have 52 pioneer students receiving the award of Bachelor of Engineering in various specialties. We congratulate all these pioneers. There is also, I think, a group of nursing science students who are graduating for the first time, those who are coming from A level. We congratulate you. Of the total number of students who are graduating, 1,113, 688 are male and 425 are female. 43 students have attained first-class awards, and we congratulate them. Of these, 29 are male and 14 are female. I would like to say that we lost some students because of the closure of Rwanda. And I forgot to add that the students, we've lost 2 students recently. Kankunda Alan died very recently, was buried last week. Niwamanyire Mbavis died also 2 months ago. They were in the final year, they were about to graduate, and we sympathize, and our condolences go to their parents and other relatives. I congratulate you all, the graduates who have attained what you have attained as individuals. This is a great day for you. I also sympathize with you that many of you were not physically able to be at Chikunjiri Hill to participate in the ceremony, but this was inevitable, as you know. Recently, I saw a graduation congratulatory card reading. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes, and you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You are on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy who will decide where to go. This is the message I'm giving to students. And this message goes along with another message I usually give to graduates. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else who is already at chapter 20. Because we have a common practice here of just rushing through things because your colleague got a good job and has a car, and all this, you find some students say, "Oh, my colleagues are driving except me." So I think the personal development will vary according to individual input and to the prevailing circumstances. Kabale University is proud of you. Kabale University will continue to associate with you. We urge you to become active members of the convocation so that you can continue to build your institution. Today, all the graduating students will go with their transcripts and certificates. Those present will pick them immediately, and those online will receive them as scheduled On schedule, the academic registrar will communicate. This is a new innovation that we have started as a university, and we need to keep it moving. Congratulations once again. We wish you a bright future. I thank all of you. Thank you. Chairperson of Council, please come and give your address. The Chairperson of Council is Honorable Manzi Tumugwine and is serving his second term.
The University Chancellor, sir, the University Council members, our guest speaker, the Vice Chancellor, leadership of all our districts represented here, the management and the staff, the Deputy President and the Cabinet, our dear parents, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. You are very welcome to this graduation ceremony of its kind, where we have some attendees present and those listening in and all watching. I congratulate and appreciate the Chancellor, and appreciate so much for him accepting his second term. And we look forward to your guidance in the new term. I welcome the members of the Council for the good service they have done, and I would want to request them to stand up if they are around, which I think they are. Thank you so much for doing a good job, and I thank you for cooperation and being focused. Thank you. I am very happy for the good job done by our staff members, both academic and non-academic. Thank you. To the students, I say, we thank you for your resilience in the last academic year. It was not easy. I thank you for the good spirit you exhibited and the cooperation you have rendered as the system and your cooperation with the members of staff and leadership. We thank the government in general and our Ministry of Education in particular for the facilitation, leadership they gave to us as a university. We have not arrived where we want to be. There are many things still missing, but we have hope that as resources become available, we shall be given priority because we are one of the youngest universities. Thanks go to the parents who have had a rough time with their children and the guardians too. But we thank them and thank Almighty God who has helped them to adjust to the new normal and have kept them from the dangers of COVID. To our graduates of today and those who are following, I have some 1 or 2 words because today we make very short speeches. Some of you got first class, about 40 of you. Some of you got upper and some of you got lower. Maybe 1 or 2 of you got a pass. What determines your success in the world you are being thrown into today is not the certificate that you are carrying in your pocket. It is your character, your hard work, your honesty, your trustworthiness, and your transparency. Not that certificate. The certificate is an outward sign. It is how you will rate people. Please keep the right company. A company that is progressive, developmental, and focused. And as they say, tell me your friends, I'll get to know who you are. Keep yourself healthy, bodily, I know you are going to tell me you have no money for gym. You don't have to have a gym to do exercises and to remain healthy. Walk. Keep your academic health too. There is no limit to learning. After graduation, you have now become a trainable material. What you have is the beginning. What you are looking for is what sustains you in the future. Remain thirsty for more knowledge. As you live and go into this world, don't be angry with the world. Don't be angry with the society. Don't be angry with yourself. Don't move around with regrets. Don't look at what others are and you are not. The good Lord we believe in has designed a calendar for each of us. So believe in God and trust in Him. You will arrive at your goal in God's timing. And God's timing is not man's timing. However, work hard and try to be better than yesterday. Every day, try to improve on yourself, whether academically, health-wise, or in any other form. Do better each time than what you were yesterday. Remember, you have graduated in hard times. So think out of the box. It may not be easy to get a job in your profession. So that shouldn't stop you from doing other things. Look at what you can do where your profession is not providing the answer. In short, don't despise work as long as what you engage in is not defined as criminal. Think. You have been trained to think. Lay down a plan. Do cost-benefit analysis. Look at the growth path which you are going to follow in what you want to do and how it can be achieved. If you go into commodity business, look at consumption trend, the consumer base, and the elasticity of demand. The same can be done with the services sector and agricultural sector. There is a saying among the business community that if you give 100,000 shillings to an illiterate man, he is more likely to multiply it and make 50 million in the next 2 years. But if you give 1 million to an educated man or an educated woman, the first idea is to buy a very good phone. Learn the art of saving. Charles Dickens, in his novel called David Copperfield, said, "My son, if you make a pound, always save 2 pence for the rainy day." Saving culture does not depend on how much you earn or how much you have. It depends on your mindset. Whatever you have, you can save something little out of it. To live within your means, do live in your means. Don't be like the Toms and Dicks. Thank God for what you have today, grow it, and you will be surprised at the results. I really wish you success in the next stage of life. So, dear graduates, in the forests, among the animals, the elephant is huge, the giraffe is tall, the cheetah is very fast, the hyena is said to be very wise, but the lion is the king. Why? The lion is courageous, bold, walks with confidence, and dares any other animal, and is never afraid. The lion believes he is unstoppable. It is a risk taker, believes that any other animal is his lunch. Every opportunity is not missed. Graduates, from now on, believe in yourself. Take advantage of every opportunity and always take calculated risk. Do not let the fear of losing be greater than the joy of success. Because if you fear to lose, then you will never succeed because you will never try. And anyone who will tell you that I have been in this world, I have done so many things, I have been around, but I have never made a mess of myself or stumbled or failed in anything, it means actually he doesn't try. Trust and relationship take long to establish and build, but they take a very few seconds to destroy. However, never let one mistake in your life determine and define your life. Remember that everyone makes a mistake, and once you make it, the mistake should be to educate you to do better next time. Redesign yourself to look at the future. Henry David Thoreau said, in the long run, men hit only what they aim at. Thank you. God bless you for God and my country.
Thank you very much, the Chairperson of the Council. May I once again invite the Vice Chancellor to introduce to us the guest speaker who will come and speak to us.
Thank you, MC. He's my great who listens to radios, knows his it is, and this is very vast. He's a versatile person. Professor Charles Kwesiga is an mechanical engineer, where he has a PhD. But he has also many other things because he's innovative. In the same line that the Chairperson of Council was mentioning, he doesn't just live by the job that he is, although now he works as the director of the Uganda Research Institute. I just want to illustrate what the Chairperson of Council said as I introduced Professor Charles Kwesiga. As a mechanical engineer, he has a home in Kaina and in Tunga, Morwentobo nearby. So he's using wind power to sustain, to use for his power source, his energy source. And when you go to this house, he says, with this wind power and solar, I will not need umeme. Because this is on a hill, anyway, umeme will take him a lot of money to reach there. But now he has this service. Because of his application of what he learned, he found there was so much wind in that area and was able to tap it. So this is the guest that we have, whom we thought would help our graduates and us, the guests, to be able to think out of the box as we have been encouraged to do. So we are very lucky and happy that Professor Charles Kwesiga has agreed to give a short talk about innovation in digitalization. He has on his own title, but that is the area we ask him to talk about because this is the contemporary requirement. So, Professor Charles Kwesiga, just before you come, allow me just to also recognize a few people, in addition to those I had already recognized. Engineer Hilary Mugisha from the Ministry of Education and Sports, though he's a member of council, He does a lot of constructions and supervision in the Ministry of Education projects. Hopefully he will be able to bring us a project somewhere here. Honorable Henry Banyenzachi from the Office of the President. Honorable Henry Banyenzachi is special to this university because he helped us to fight for public status. He actually caused the turning point in the process of how we could move to government to help us take over this university as a public university. Thank you. He's now serving as a member of the University Council, but he has real interest in this university. Together we have tried to get him more around. So far we haven't succeeded, but he hasn't given up. Isaiah Kanyamahane is also of our convocation, but he's also a former student here. He's RDC in Tungamo, and he's a promoter of this university. We welcome you. Grace Munyambawazi supports this university as a principal education officer. In this municipality, we are in his hands for many of the information that he provides. He's good also at sharing information. That Shabe Pamela, LC1 chairperson in Ndorwa, you deserve special recognition because you are our chairperson here. So, Professor Charles Kwesiga, you are welcome.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. I'm not good at protocol, but there is one common theme that goes on in ceremonies like this, and they say, all protocol observed. I had not heard it before anywhere else, but Uganda, we summarize things. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be in the company of my mentor and friend, Chancellor Mondo Kagonya. I've known for a long time. I always remind him of a story where in 1977, I was in Buffalo, New York, and he was at the University of California, Davis campus, and we used to communicate regularly because I desperately needed his encouragement. Thank you very much. His Vice Chancellor has already disassociated with me from sharing her name, but that's a name I really cherish because at my youth in the primary school, I met late father-in-law, Reverend Wajendera. Wajendera was with a crusade of evangelists, and they had the break tea at my father's house. And then I said, I understand your name is Kwesiga. Please, yes, sir. Haza oshomeje obenka mutabana wanje na woni bamweta Kwesiga. And I think that set me going. I have never looked back. Chairman Council, thanks for being a friend over the years. I've heard of friends like Singahachi, thank you for helping me with the road to my farm when you are chairman. I hope you can still influence events over there and do more for our farm. I was just sitting next to my OB, who were with at Untitled School, and so on and so forth. Everywhere I look, I see people who set me thinking about my past. Being here itself, I'm waxing nostalgia as I look at, as I recall the events of 1972, around about April, mid-April. I had just come out of Idi Amin's jail, and I was in hiding in Kampala. Then a friend from Fronasa came. We met in Kampala, and we decided to come and recruit fighters to go to Tanzania. And so we rented the Mercedes-Benz because roadblocks respected Mercedes-Benzes. And me and number one Muhechera, who I shall not name for now, got in that Benz, and guess who was the driver? He was behind Ruchiko there. And so it was a hostel, which I enjoyed attending dances when I was in Untitled School. But that time I was there as a fugitive who was playing guerrilla warfare. Anyway, you can imagine what's going through my head as I'm on this hill. I am very, very happy to be here in Kabale. And by the way, I am hosting another delegation from Kabale tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Kampala. So after here, I'll have to rush back. So those of you who are involved in that, don't look at me and worry. See, the man is in Kabale, we are supposed to be with him in Kampala. Because of technology, it is possible. I will be there. The theme of today's ceremony is embracing digital solutions for borderless university engagements. And in line with this theme, it is truly an honor and a privilege for me, a Kabale native, to make comments about current trends in technological advances, such as digital innovations, the four industrial revolutions, digital transformation, cloud storage, and so on. Particularly interesting is the four industrial revolutions. Industrial revolutions have kind of left us out as sub-Saharan Africa, because the first industrial revolution of 1784 was characterized by mechanization and the mechanization of agriculture. Today, we are still importing horse even to buy elections. And so we have not embraced the first industrial revolution. That is a sad commentary. The second industrial revolution of 1870 was characterized by the assembly line production, mass production, and so on. if we have not embraced the first industrial revolution, it is a far cry to expect us to do much with the second industrial revolution. The third one of 1969 is characterized by computerization and automation. We are now talking about the fourth industrial revolution, which involves cyber physical systems, Internet of Things, and so on. However, I want to assure you that we can forego those and be at the high table of the fourth industrial revolution if we only pay attention and do what we must do. I'm very elated again that I am addressing such eclectic cutting-edge technologies in the region of my birth, where I was raised under very harsh circumstances and in an environment that was and continues to be majorly devoid of technology. But we know about these technologies. We can do something about it as Kabale people. Because this sub-region, its scenic beauty notwithstanding, continues to subscribe to several African paradoxes. Plentiful natural resources, but no discernible industry. World-class education, but a dearth of relevant human capital. And by that I mean highly skilled manpower. Endurance against debilitating misrule, especially that of Idi Amin, hardly 10 years after our colonial rule. But apparently no lessons learned to ensure that never again would Uganda population allow the emergence of despots or of political chicanery, to wit, the most recent elections. But, truth be told, such paradoxes are the cause and the consequence of our niggardly pace of industrialization, our dismal performance at global development indices, and our inability to even meet basic needs of our populace. Don't get me wrong, we have made some strides, but alas, the situation is still dire. Especially as we continue to prove that security, rule of law, democracy, and sound economic policies are necessary conditions, but not sufficient conditions for industrial development. We are finally beginning to learn that these factors must be augmented and complemented by enhanced technology use, highly skilled manpower, and financial infrastructures that provide affordable financing for the enterprise creation. When it comes to skilled manpower, on my way here last night, I met a colleague who is a chairman of another university council, and he was telling me how dissatisfied he was with his teaching faculty. And he was telling me how he's going to enforce such serious demands for the faculty to show how much they are publishing, how much there are all kinds of parameters he's putting in place. And I said, and while you are at it, ask them to follow, to have these, what the Germans are famous for, to have these statistical follow-up on what their students end up doing. Because our alumni really give us a much better gauge of how effective we have been as university institutions. When I go to a bank and I find that this efficient teller is trained as a mechanical engineer, I worry. What are we doing about that? What are we doing to make sure that the people get employed to do things that you train them to do? Kabale University and other institutions of higher learning is well placed to address the issue of skilled manpower. In this regard, I wish to commend Professor Joy Kwesiga and her staff for the efforts that they are taking, as you heard her detailed speech. They are taking steps, for example, for collaboration with my institution at our iconic Namambe project. There are other leaders of institutions, even within Kampala, who have found no interest in what we are offering. And I imagine it's because of the way we, Kakama, the way you give us money, doesn't give an incentive for people to really look for opportunities for collaboration and cooperation, because they are too busy trying to find the money, even if it takes significant intellectual dishonesty. So I'm really happy to see what is happening with Kabale University. The arrangement we're entering in will create a platform for apprenticeship, which is a key mechanism for hands-on training and exposure to state-of-the-art technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, according to UNIDO, the new industrial revolution, that's the fourth, is characterized by modern technologies related to big data, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, etc. They also provide a promising avenue for Africa. If Africa can leapfrog more developed countries, the NIR has the potential to improve productivity, reduce energy use, and resource consumption at a much faster speed. To do so, the capacity of science and technology personnel needs to be built. Innovation systems need to be strengthened, and innovative entrepreneurship needs to be nurtured. One of the current cutting-edge technologies is digital transformation, which is, and I quote, the adoption of digital technology to transform services or businesses through replacing manual processes with digital processes or replacing older digital technology with newer digital technologies. That's according to the definition in Wikipedia. I am happy to hear what the Vice Chancellor said about the direction they are taking to computerize this campus, to computerize the processes, and we stand shoulder by shoulder in that effort. I can assure you that, Vice Chancellor. One of the digital transformation is all about technology, data, process, organizational change. There are three essential components of a digital transformation. That's overhaul of processes, overhaul of operations, and the overhaul of relationships with your customer base. We have myriads of tools and solutions and processes. And so digital transformation is an effective strategy in one that's customized for every unique organization. To remain competitive in the modern business landscape, digital transformation is a necessity. Some of these words may sound a little Greek to some, but let me just give you simple examples of digital solutions. And there is a lot of you sometimes wonder why I don't wear suits often. Actually, sometimes, probably most of those who know me have never seen me in a suit and tie. because this is as far as I go, mostly. But the shirts I wear, most of them, are from a famous clothier in Hawaii who has no shops. He has a brand name called Tory Richards, and you can look it up, you can Google it up and see what I'm talking about. And he uses, exclusively uses online sales, no brick and mortar outlets, as orders and payments are made electronically. Then orders are shipped via courier, who also uses electronics to trace their merchandise. And they bring the merchandise up to your home. And that is a classic case. And now you can imagine how his sales have hit the roof because of the pandemic. People don't go to shops anymore. So somebody who has that strategy is definitely doing very well. I had the privilege of visiting a dairy farmer in Israel who looks after his large herd of cattle, and he's a herdsman who sits in an air-conditioned office. On each cow is a brace, an electronic device on one of the hind legs that transmits all the conditions, the health conditions of the cow. Its comfort level, it's a lot of things, even its readiness to feed, readiness to be milked, quench its thirst. The cows are kept very healthy, and there's only one herdsman in an office. The entire milk industry in Israel is so, uses digitization. And I saw another example in Denmark where a couple, a man and son, who are looking after 200 head of cattle. And theirs is not zero grazing like in Israel, because Israel has no land. There they have a pasture of several hundred acres. And there are only 2 of them running after that herd. And even the milking, a milk truck comes, connects its computer, milks the cows. Meantime, the computer analyzes the quality of the milk, generates the bill to the farmer based on the quality of the milk they have taken. Then the same computer directs the bank to credit the farmer's account. All that done electronically. And so then artificial intelligence. When I see examples in congested traffic jams in Kampala, and yet you have a traffic light and a policeman, each one giving different signals. And you say, if you made an intelligent traffic light, you would decongest these streets in no time. Yet, and the technology for doing that is very simple. Send me your students from the Vice Chancellor, and I will teach them artificial intelligence. And so, you can take it a step further at the government level. When you are driving through some of these modern cities, you don't see policemen all over the place, but if you try speed, automatically your bill, your fine is sent to your home, because you have these intelligent cameras that will take a picture of your license, and automatically the system tells who that person is, where they live, and by the time they get home, there is a bill at your home that you've been fined for overspeeding at some point. You know how much that could do to eliminate corruption? By, you know, those people, I don't like talk about. Anyway, agricultural productivity can be enhanced via digitization. Irrigation can be made efficient and economical, and available, and accessible. And so there are a lot of opportunities for this, and I hope that our graduate explains the difference between an engineer trained with well-equipped facilities and compared to an engineer taught purely out of a classroom situation. We must do more, and I'm willing and happy to work with you on that. As promised, I will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, Vice Chancellor, and your staff to make Kabale University a center of excellence in engineering instruction. And as Voltaire said, no problem can withstand the sustained power, the sustained assault of thinking. Let us go forward. Thank you.
Another round of applause, please. This was very, very, very didactic. It was very, very important, very, very educating. We want to thank you, Professor. At this point, because we are rushing with time, I would like to take it upon me to request our Chancellor to come and address us, and immediately after that, we shall go into the graduating of our graduates immediately. Can you please join me, and we welcome our Chancellor to come and address us. And then the graduates should be getting ready. Deans should be getting ready.
You know, the trouble is if I remove my mask, I'll be setting a very bad example. So my first message is to the people of this region: mind corona. It's a real thing. It even kills young people. I'll try and speak with my mask on. Now, because of time, I have to summarize the already short speech. One of my weakest points at school was English language, where Prissy was involved. I had problems with that. But let me say a few things. First of all, I'm here to say I'm extremely pleased and thankful to His Excellency the President for reappointing me Chancellor of Kabale University, and to thank the Senate and the Council for recommending me to the President. I am glad to still be Chancellor of Kabale, to at least give you the moral support that a young university like Kabale needs in order for you to grow. Professor Kwesiga, who has just been addressing you, especially you students, young men and women, is a man of very wide experience. well-traveled, well-trained, and really competent to give us some knowledge. We cannot overemphasize the power of knowledge. All he was talking about, and what the Vice Chancellor was talking about, and the Chairman of Council, had all to do with the knowledge. Those of us who are addressing you, young men and women, have only one thing in common. It's not money. Professor Joy Kwesika told you she has none. I'm not sure about that. I don't know how much Professor Kwesika Charles has. I think Honorable Manzi has quite a bit of money. And I have no money. But we have one thing in common. We are reasonably well-informed people. We didn't pick it from our mother's womb, not on the roads, not in our tribal enclaves, or where we go to worship every time we worship, but from the classroom and the lab, from those who knew better than we did. I want to challenge the graduates here present and those listening and watching. If we asked you to make resolutions about your future based on what you have been told, what would your resolution be? And why do I say this? You know, in Africa, and I was telling a young man after the other day, he said, in Africa, the trouble with us is this and that. I said, no, you're mistaken. Actually, that is all over the world. We don't take seriously the communication we get from those who know. So, speeches, just preaching in the church, those of us who go to church, after preaching, hard work. The priest says, how many of you have felt touched? You get hardly anybody to put up their hand. Has the preacher been wasting his time? Probably not. So I would like to appeal to you. Take what you are told by those who know seriously. This graduation is a unique graduation because of the peculiar problem of COVID-19 that we have. And I'm extremely happy with you students of Kabale University that you have understood the circumstances, especially as to why your colleagues are not to be here. And I know this is a great day in everyone's life that you are here and you account to your parents, to your friends, that after all you went to school. We beg for your indulgence. This is the 5th graduation of Kabale University as a public institution, and indeed I'm extremely happy to note the progress that the university has made. I have been looking at your program as to what courses you offer at this university, and I'm extremely happy that many of the courses are practically relevant to improvement of the welfare of our people. And yes, and it is true. So I want just urge you to keep it up. Professor Joy Kwesika and your team or your colleagues have done an extremely good job. I thank Honorable Manzi Tumubwene and the University Council for the wonderful job you've done. Transforming Kabale from a private to a public university was not an easy task. Again, I was looking at the schedule of your leadership. I was impressed by the quality of education that the leaders at this university have. So I congratulate you very much on that. I want Kabale University to be different from the rest of the universities, the public universities especially. In this country, yesterday, there was a lot of explosions, I think, around the Chambo. I don't know exactly why it was, but I was told that students were complaining about e-learning or something. But I have always wondered, why should we not be different from sugarcane cutters? They are the ones who love to express themselves through demonstrations and the destruction of property. But you are educated people. You have sharpened your brains. Put them to use. Negotiate. Agree to disagree, and I understand that people don't always agree. But there must always be room for disagreement. So I want Kabale University to be an institution of envy. There is a certain public university where some of the academicians are notorious for causing problems rather than being famous for solving problems. We as an academic institution, our jobs are to impart knowledge, to do research, to solve problems that are affecting our society, yes, and impacting on the improvement of the welfare of our people. And the Kabale University, you have a unique opportunity to do that because you don't have a baggage of notoriety. And I want you to discourage any signs of negativity in what happens at Kabale University. Throughout history, universities have been centers for the development of mankind. And that's what Professor Kwesiga was. All the things he was talking about were done at the universities. Whether you talk about medicine, whether you talk about engineering, technology, whether you talk about science, whether you talk about economics, whether you talk about political science, all the game changers have by and large been taking place at the university. So I want to Kabale University to be a famous institution rather than a notorious one. You all know very well that when you talk about the United Kingdom, you are talking about Oxford, talking about Cambridge, talking about Edinburgh. Does it surprise you that Oxford University was one of the first institutions to develop a vaccine against this coronavirus? And clearly their vaccine is one of the best. Talk about technology. Professor Kwesiga talked about the digital revolution. But you know very well that the pioneer of that digital revolution was a man called Shockley at the University of California when he developed what's this? The basic of electronic transmission. What's this? I've forgotten. Professor President, what was Shockley's discovery? Never mind. Anyway, you can look it up with Dr. Shockley's work. You know very well that the atom was first exploded at Cambridge by Rutherford. Many other examples. So universities, their job is to solve problems of conflict in mind. Now, in this region, when I was traveling from my village home, I was shocked by the amount of environmental degradation that is taking place. I was shocked by the reeking poverty I saw on the face of the people I passed by. And I think we have a serious problem. I think in this place we are going to have a serious problem of food security. So I'm very glad that you have established a department, a faculty of agriculture. Again, the University of California I went to revolutionized agriculture in California, and at our time agriculture-based industry was the largest employer in the state of California. So even here, agriculture can make an improvement, not only in the lives of the people, but even in creating employment. President Nyerere said, with regard to the purpose of a university, he said that institutions should prepare the recipients of higher education for service to humanity. University institutions should prepare learners to think and act objectively and scientifically in recognizing and strategizing the removal of the causes of poverty, disease, ignorance, and negative mindset to development, and to enable every member of a family and a community to live improved services, lives, and work comfortably. I think the mindset is an important message. Many of us have a problem of wrong mindset, and the university cannot do a better job than changing the mindset of the people who go through their games. I'm glad that at Kabale University you are moving in this direction. To you graduates, I extend my hearty congratulations and thank the parents and the guardians for the sacrifices made to enable you to undertake the various courses of study. We are here to celebrate your achievement with the qualifications obtained today. You have been armed with the keys to success in your different disciplines. It is now up to you to put the knowledge and the skills obtained from Kabale University to good use for the benefit not of only yourselves, but the communities in which you live. You must avoid self-centeredness. However, this achievement is the beginning of a long journey to professional and business recognition. Do not be satisfied with the qualification you have attained. You have been told by the Chairman of Council. Look out for opportunities for further study. Nobody should ever stop learning. I'm sure you have learned one or two things from the people who have just spoken. I wish you and your parents, I wish you every success as you enter the world of work, and hope that you stay connected with Kabale University through your alumni association. I want also to thank your parents and the guardians who have helped you to achieve what you have achieved. Many of them have made a tremendous sacrifice through selling even the little plots of land they have. Unfortunately, returns from these investments today are less obvious than they were in our times, but that's part of the challenge, rather than the conviction to despair. So congratulations, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, please. These were words of wisdom, parental counseling, and giving you and us all a direction, and we want to thank you. At this point in time, may I request the Vice Chancellor to call upon the faculty deans, institute directors, present graduates for the award of diplomas and conferment of degrees.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, now that we have finished the first phase of our graduation ceremony, I call upon the deans and directors to call upon the graduates in the way we have arranged so that they can receive their awards. And we will not have the pleasure of shaking hands with the Chancellor, master's students. You'll just go there because of COVID.
The Dean of Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences. Mike.
Yeah, Mr. Chancellor, sir, sorry for that. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Business Administration of Kabale University. Bareche Alex, Basheja Ismail Bosco, Kajuna Alexander, Dasimile Doreen, Mbabas Maniex, Ndiaya Ngabrano Julius, Nirabutebuka Esperance, Orishaba Sharon, Rubarema Paul, Rutungana Benon, Semusu Alex, Tumuhirwe Reste, Tumushabe Peace, and Turiomunsi Ambrose.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Business Administration of Kabale University.
Yeah, Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Arts in Project Planning and Management of Kabale University. Maguma Nabos Vincent, Liberty Christopher, Franzima Geiger, Musimenta Joan, Natkunda Roy, and Tumura.
By virtue of the authority, by virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Project Planning and Management of Kabale University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of Kabale. Rukadir Muhammad Abdul Kadir, Anaviona Alex, Asimwe Sarima Kamis, Nkurunziza Joshua, and Tembo Stevenson.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Human Resource Management of Kabale University.
Dean of Faculty of Arts, Social Sciences.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students for the requirements for the award of Master of Arts in Public Administration and Management of Kabale. Sakina Baguma Batson, Shakakuru Robert, and Shemerirwe Judith.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Public Administration and Management of Kabale University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of Master of Arts in Development. Joseph.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Development Studies of Kabale University.
In the School of Medicine.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Public Health of Kabale University. Birungi B.K. Valentin, Twinomuhwezi Benja.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Public Health of Kabale University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Medicine in Obstetrics and Gynecology of Kabale University. Sengiyumva Venancio Odongo Leo.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Medicine of Kabale University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirement for the award of the degree of Master of Arts in Education Management of Kabale University. Aumuza Durin, Asim Ivan Baganda, Aturinziri Asaf, Bakanija Isaiah, Biarwanga Alex Muganda, Kamusime Bansobeize Deni, Atereira Mark, Kisoncho Medad, Kisheja Drake, Musinguzi Abad, Nabasa Wilberforce, Natuwera Alex, Tuwihire Ellen, Turihabwe Zinkubire Jones, and Tushabe Parapetwa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in Education Management of Kabale University.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to present to you the following students who have satisfied the requirements for the award of the postgraduate diploma in human resource management of Kabale University. Ayabazibwe Naboth, Durungi Harriet, Shembo Joanita Rachel, Muwanjiza Gilbert, Mukamusoni Beatrice, Namanya Ime, Nkurunziza Joshua, Yesigire Sonia, and Presije A. Didas.
By virtue of the authority